Hey, what's up everybody? It's Drew, better known as RockChalk01, and today, finally, I can reveal the first round results to my Disney bracket. It's amazing that this happened, but we finally got results. We went from 48 teams to start this tournament. Now we're down to the final 32, and it was some great matchups. Before I get started and reveal the results, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who voted. Hundreds of you voted throughout my entire polls, which is awesome. I've never really had a true poll that was successful, except maybe one, but that was only 2 people, and it was split 50-50. But anyway, I got my laptop over here to the right of the camera, so if you see me look over here, you'll know why. But I got the results of each matchup that happened for the first round tournament. I just wanted to say, originally I apologize because some people on TikTok got pissed off at me because they're like,
hey, some of the results are still going. You shouldn't have already calculated your data.
Well, I had to post to TikTok and say, after 24 hours, all polls will close. That's what happened. So these are the results that I have that were from those polls. So the polls are technically still going on TikTok, and some of them have different responses and all that stuff, but this is the ones that I pulled when I saw them. So I'm just gonna go through them, and I'll actually give you my predictions that I really thought were gonna go down. But yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So the first matchups that went into fruition were the 8-9 matchups, and my predictions were Princess and the Frog, Lady and the Tramp, Cars, and Luca. Those were my 4 8-9 pick predictions. But let's start with Frozen taking on Princess and the Frog. Frozen is the 8th seed, and Princess and the Frog was the 9th seed. It's a pretty good matchup for the most part, but then ultimately, Frozen got the win. Frozen got 66% of the vote. Princess and the Frog got 34. With that, Frozen moves on to face the number 1 overall seed in the Princess region, which is Snow White and the 7 Dwarves. The next matchup I have is Lady and the Tramp versus 101 Dalmatians. This one was pretty close and it went back and forth for a while, but ultimately, Lady and the Tramp is the winner. Lady and the Tramp got 59% of the vote. 101 Dalmatians got 41% of the vote. So congratulations to Lady and the Tramp. That movie gets to face off against the 1 seed in the Classics region, which is The Lion King. So it should be a good matchup there. The next matchup, we move to the franchises region as number 8 Incredibles 2 takes on number 9 Cars. And we have our first upset of the video. Cars ends up winning this matchup. Cars had 57% of the vote to Incredibles 2 getting 43% of the vote. I was not surprised to see Cars come out on top and beat Incredibles 2. So yeah, congrats to Cars. Since Cars moves on to the next round, they face off against the 1 seed in the franchises region, which is the original Toy Story. So that'll be an interesting matchup. And the final 8-9 matchup we have is number 8 Luca taking on number 9 Onward. This one wasn't really close for a while. It was one-sided until the very end, but ultimately Onward is the winner. So we have the second upset of the video. Onward got 60% of the vote. Luca got 40%. So congrats to Onward. You're moving on to face the number 1 seed in the one-off region, and that is up. So those are all the 8-9 matchups. Next, we're moving on to the 5-12 matchups, and I honestly thought there could be potential upsets, but my predictions for each matchup, I had Moana, Dumbo, Incredibles, and A Bug's Life. So let's show the results here. First matchup we have was Moana taking on Encanto. Moana was the 5 seed, and Encanto was the 12 seed. Watching this match go into fruition, Encanto had a lead for a while, but ultimately Moana, the fans really loved Moana, and Moana easily won this matchup. Moana got 75% of the vote to Encanto's 25%. So congrats to Moana, and Moana gets to face off against the 4 seed of the Princess region, Beauty and the Beast, and that should be a really good matchup. Next, we got the 5-12 matchup in the Classics region as number 5 Dumbo takes on number 12 Alice in Wonderland. And this battle almost went into overtime. This came down to the wire because both these movies were about 50-50 for most of the time that the polls were up and the polls were open. But the winner is Dumbo. Dumbo came in clutch in the last few minutes as polls closed, and Dumbo finished with 52% of the vote. Alice in Wonderland had 48% of the vote. I was shocked that Dumbo and Alice in Wonderland was this close because I didn't think it was going to be that much of a battle. But congrats to Dumbo, and now Dumbo gets to face off against the 4 seed of the Classics region, which is Bambi. And I think that'll be a good matchup. The next matchup we have is the 5 seed Incredibles taking on the 12 seed Cars 2. Early on, we had a unanimous vote, and that was Cars 2. But Cars didn't win. The winner is Incredibles. Incredibles came back and just blew Cars out of the water. Cars 2 ended up getting some more votes in there, but ultimately the Incredibles won the battle with 65% of the vote, and Cars 2 had 35% of the vote. So congrats to the Incredibles, and they get to face off against the 4 seed of the franchises region, which is Finding Nemo. The final 5-12 matchup is between the 5 seed of Bugs Life and the 12 seed The Good Dinosaur in the one-offs region. And this one wasn't even close. For most of this, it was 100-0 until votes came in late and it was like 80-20. But ultimately, A Bug's Life came out on top. Bug's Life got 79% of the vote. Good Dinosaur got 21% of the vote. It was the largest margin of the entire tournament. So there was almost no question going in this one. With the win for Bug's Life, they get to move on to face the 4 seed Wall-E. So that will be a good matchup. But with that being said, those are all the 5-12 matchups. The 7-10 matchups actually were pretty good for the most part. My predictions were Sleeping Beauty, Tarzan, Cars 3, and Coco. So those are my picks, and let's just get underway with it. We're going to start out in the Princess region as number 7 Mulan took on number 10 Sleeping Beauty, and my pick, Sleeping Beauty, had a good start, but ultimately the winner turned out to be Mulan in the final waning minutes, or the waning hours in a way. Mulan had a comfortable lead in the final 2 hours, and Mulan ended up winning. So Mulan had 64% of the vote. Sleeping Beauty finished with 36%. So congrats to Mulan. And Mulan moves on to face off against the 2 seed in the Princess region, which is the Little Mermaid. I think that'll be an interesting matchup there. The next matchup we're going to is the Classics region matchup between number 7 Tarzan and number 10 Hercules. This matchup was actually pretty close. It wasn't until the final minutes where a couple more votes made it a little bit more spread out, but the winner was Tarzan. Tarzan got 55% of the vote, and Hercules finished with 45%. So it was neck and neck for a while, but Tarzan got the win. And with the win, Tarzan will face off against the 2 seed of the Classics region, which is Pinocchio. And that could be a blowout, or it could be the biggest upset of the tournament. The next matchup, we go to the franchises region as number 7, Cars 3, takes on 10, Finding Dory. Yeah, this one was a lot closer than I thought as well, but I knew that there was going to be a little bit of competitiveness out of both movies, but ultimately, Cars 3 got the win. Cars 3 had 58% of the vote. Finding Dory finished with 42%. I mean, that could have been a coin flip, if anything. So congrats to Cars 3. They move on to face the 2 seed of the franchises region, which is Toy Story 3. The battle of the third movie, which honestly, in my opinion, was the best out of each of the franchises. Toy Story 3 and Cars 3, I think they're the better of the original trilogies. But it could be anybody's matchup. And the final matchup, that was 7-10, goes to the one-offs region as number 7, Coco, takes on number 10, Inside Out. And honestly, this one was a comfortable win for the underdog. The winner was Inside Out. Inside Out finished with 60% of the vote, and Coco finished with 40%. I was a little shocked at this one. I honestly thought Coco had it smooth sailing, but ultimately, Inside Out got the win. So congrats to Inside Out. And Inside Out, as they won, they get to face off against the 2 seed in the one-offs region, which is Seoul. And I think that'll be an interesting matchup. So those were the 7-10 results. Now we come to the final 4 matchups of the video, and they are the 6-11 matchups. These matchups, so I predicted that Cinderella, Fantasia, Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 4, so all the 6 seeds would win. Those were my predictions. But let's check out what you guys voted. So first up, we have the 6th seed Cinderella versus the number 11 seed Tangled in the battle in the Princess region. This one was neck and neck throughout, but there was times where a movie got an impressive lead and then it just shrunk fast. There were times that this was 50-50. And in fact, the last time I checked after polls were closed, this one was 50-50, along with Dumbo and Alice in Wonderland. Actually, Dumbo and Alice in Wonderland flipped after the polls closed, but this one stayed 50-50. But we have so far the biggest upset of the day as Tangled narrowly escapes Cinderella. So Tangled finished with 52% of the vote. Cinderella finished with 48%. Wow, I was wrong, and a lot of people were also wrong as well. So congrats to Tangled. And Tangled now gets to move on to the round of 32 to face off against a 3 seed in the Princess region, Aladdin. So that should be a good matchup, and that could be the biggest upset of the tournament if that happens. The next matchup we have, that 6-11, is number 6 Fantasia going up against number 11 Peter Pan. And oh boy, this was an upset and a half because the winner was Peter Pan by a long shot. Fantasia had no chance. It was Peter Pan thick and thin, and anytime Fantasia had a chance, gone forever. Peter Pan had 74% of the vote. Fantasia finished with 26%. So, God, this was the most surprising upset. Just not because it was so close, but it was just how far it was. So, or just the amount of margin it was. So, congratulations to Peter Pan. You get to move on to face the 3 seed of the classics, the Jungle Book. And I don't think that'll be a good matchup, but who knows? Since you just killed Fantasia, you might be able to kill the Jungle Book. So, yeah, that's that matchup. The next 6-11 matchup was out of the franchises region as the 6th seed Toy Story 2 took on the 11th seed Monsters University. This matchup was interesting, to say the least, because I thought both of these are sequels. or technically one's a prequel and the other is an actual sequel, but both of these are the second installment, and I am surprised with this margin, but I don't know what to say. So the winner was Toy Story 2, and Toy Story 2 finished with 73% of the vote, while Monsters University finished with 27% of the vote. So congrats to TS2 or Toy Story 2. And that movie gets to face off against the 3 seed of the franchise region, which is Monsters Inc. So another good matchup, and that's also a potential upset there in the round of 32. And the final 6 versus 11 matchup and the final first round matchup was number 6 Toy Story 4 versus number 11 Brave. This is coming out of the one-offs region, and it's the second largest margin of victory of the video, because as you can remember, the Bug's Life and the Good Dinosaur has the largest. This matchup was the second largest. Ultimately, Toy Story 4 is the winner. This did not surprise me at all. Toy Story 4 got 76% of the vote, while Brave finished with 24%. And I know both these films fit in different parts of like regions and all that stuff, but unfortunately I had 12 princesses already, 12 in the franchise region, which sucks. So these two kind of got shafted to the one-off region, and one of the weirder matchups in the one-off region, so I apologize in advance to both movies. But Toy Story 4 killed Brave, and with that, Toy Story 4 moves on to face the 3 seed of the one-offs region, Ratatouille. So with that being said, those are the 6-11 matchups and the entire first round matchups. So I'm going to do a quick rundown of the round of 32 matchups, and I'll do another full round of 32 video similar to the first one. And I'll actually give my predictions because I was an idiot and didn't do it in the first one. Duh. So first we're going to start with the princess region. We got Snow White versus Frozen, Beauty and the Beast versus Moana, Little Mermaid versus Mulan, Aladdin versus Tangled, Lion King and Lady and the Tramp start the classics region. Then we got Bambi versus Dumbo, Pinocchio versus Tarzan, and The Jungle Book versus Peter Pan to finish off the classics. To the franchise region, Toy Story versus Cars, Finding Nemo versus Incredibles, Toy Story 3 versus Cars 3, and Monsters Inc. versus Toy Story 2 to finish off the franchise region. And in the one-offs, Up versus Onward, Wall-E versus A Bug's Life, Soul versus Inside Out, and to finish it off, Ratatouille versus Toy Story 4. So those are all the first round matchup results, and a preview of the second round matchups as I'll go into depth with them in another video. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Push that notification bell. Tell your friends about these videos. And I should see you again for the next video whenever that comes out. But until then, have a good day. Never ever bring exotic dancers to the field house. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.